Welcome back to another gaming haul video. So recently I went to the Nottingham Gaming Market. Now this is a market that you do pay a small fee to get into, and it was held at a sports centre. Now the really good thing about this is that Nottingham doesn't really have many retro gaming stores. It just kind of has two CXs and that's really about it. There's nothing really specialised like in some other towns and cities nearby. And that is kind of the only con really of living in the city. Otherwise, I do completely love it here, but that is something that it is missing, unfortunately. So I was really excited to go to it. There is a very similar one that's held in Birmingham. I believe it's run by the same company, but I felt like this one was really well organised. It was in a huge hall, so there was plenty of space to walk around all the stalls, and there was a really big variety of stalls there. There were retro gaming stores like Doorway to Darkness that had come all the way from their towns to here and brought some of their stock. And yeah, there was lots of great variety of games, some really, really rare ones and unusual ones. They were priced accordingly, so that is something to take into consideration because you are paying a fee to get into the market as well. Other than that, I really enjoyed the time there, really impressed with the variety of games, and I also got a small little haul, some games I've been meaning to get for a little while, so I will show you that at the end of the video as well. So stick around, but I will show you first what the actual market looked like. So now to get to the good part, which is the games that I picked up. So I don't know if you might have guessed a couple of them, but first off, we'll start with one that is a bit more of Ant's game that he wanted because he's much more of a Nintendo person than I am, and that was Donkey Konga. Now this is like a rhythm-based game. I've never played it before, so I've not really much idea of what to expect, but it looks like a really fun game, and I'm sure it's got lots of rhythm games to it and all the charm that a lot of Donkey Kong ones have as well. And it did also come with the drum set. And yeah, it's really fun. I love it when games come with their own little controllers and mechanics. I was kind of surprised it was the price it was for the drum set with it as well. It's in pretty good condition. It's kind of soft at the top. It's quite an interesting controller. So be really interested to see how it all works. As you can see, the actual game is in good condition and it comes with a manual, which you know is very important. And it also comes with some little bits of advertising in it too, which is always really fun to see. Pretty good price for £20 with the drums as well. So yeah, be a really fun multiplayer one to do too. Next up, we'll be going on to more of the Sega. So I got two Mega Drive games. First off, I got The Last Battle, which has got the most epically looking 90s cover ever. I love the illustration of it. I'm not really sure how good of a game it is. From the sort of reviews that I read, it sounded like it plays okay. It just looks like a very side-scrolling beat-em-up style game, very similar to kind of Streets of Rage. I thought it looked interesting and it wasn't an expensive game at all. And as you can see, it's in good condition. And then if we take a look inside, the manual even is in some plastic wrapping. Really nice condition. It hardly looks like it's been touched. There's nothing really interesting in the manual though. And then you've got the cartridge, of course. Like I said, it's not a game that was particularly on my radar, but it was cheap and I keep seeing it around, so I thought I'd finally pick it up and see what it plays like. So yeah, be very interested to see how this compares to other games of a similar style. Now, my next Mega Drive game was a little bit more of a pricey one, and that one that has been on my list but hasn't really been a priority, and that is Sonic 3. So finally have pretty much all of the Sonic games on the Mega Drive. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 3D, and the only one I think I've got left to get is Sonic and Knuckles. But then after that, I will have all of the Sonic games on the Mega Drive. And as you can see, it's in good condition. Now this one I think is the priciest of all the Sonic games, the first one being the cheapest, so that's kind of why it's very low priority on my list. And then the Sonic and Knuckles is very pricey and difficult to find in good condition because it's in a cardboard box. And it has a manual, which is also in really nice condition. How shiny it is. Again, nothing really interesting in the manual, but it's always nice to have it. Then you got the cartridge itself, which again, really nice condition. It definitely looks a lot more trippier than some of the older games. Very 90s looking with the aesthetics. Really interested to give it a play and see how it compares to 1 and 2 and see which one is my favourite. And then last but not least, I did get one Dreamcast game, and it might surprise you that I don't already own it, and that is Shenmue. Now the reason I didn't prioritise getting it is because I got the ports for the PS4, so I have already played these games, so it wasn't really a priority for me because I knew I wasn't going to get around to replaying them anytime soon. It's one of the ones you have to have for the Dreamcast, right? It's the Dreamcast classic game. So I have finally got it. I did see 2 quite a few times, but all of the boxes looked really battered. It's really hard to get a box that doesn't look super scuffed. This was probably one of the better ones for a more reasonable price that I saw. So this was £30. So as you can see, the box is a little bit scuffed on the edges, but it's an old cardboard box, kind of what can you expect? But yeah, it looks pretty good. There's no major sticker damage or anything. And obviously you have the 2 cases as well. They're both really hefty because they have huge manuals in them. So you got the 2 discs in there and massive, thick, chunky manual. Obviously, the main thing with Shenmue is that it is a very graphically demanding game, and that is why it's so many discs, because it's not even a very long game, right? But as you can see, the manual's really well detailed. I am quite impressed with how detailed and lovely it is designed. The second case, there's no real way of differentiating between the 2 cases. They look exactly the same, apart from the back has got different languages on and different photos. But if we have a look inside this one, have different coloured discs. And another very chunky manual. Again, quite a nice bit of design in there too. And then have a little bit of promo material in there. I love seeing promo material leaflets because it really gives you an idea of what games were current at the time. It gives you a bit more context. Space Channel 5, great little game. You got all of the different ones. MSR. And you got Power Stone 2, which is very high on my list of Dreamcast games to get next. Really happy that I did actually find this for a reasonable price and reasonable condition, and that it's all in one piece and everything's all in good condition inside. I will get number 2 eventually, but again, not in a super rush. So unless I see it for a good price and good condition, I'm not going to rush to get it. But yeah, finally got Shenmue. So that concludes the gaming haul. Let me know if you have any highlights, if you've got any games that you think I should get next for my collection as well. In terms of the actual market, I do definitely recommend going. It's a really fun experience. It's really great to see so many different types of stalls and games in one place. And it definitely makes hunting for retro games a lot easier when you have so much variety there. The only con that I would say about it is that some of the gaming stalls do hike up their prices quite a lot. So definitely go being a bit informed about the average price of different games so you're not overpaying for a game, because some of them, they were really putting up the prices by like £10–15 on some stalls. So we were making sure we were double checking like market value on a few of those games to make sure we weren't overpaying for them. So definitely be informed if you are going to go to these markets. But other than that, I really enjoyed the experience, really enjoyed picking up the games that we did, and yeah, we'll definitely go again next year too. So that concludes the video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments what is your highlights, and if you've been to any markets like this and you have any recommendations of where I should go next. In the meantime, don't forget to follow me on socials and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!